Good afternoon. This is Kate Dayman interviewing Lyle Dayman on the 28th of January 2014 for a website called www.bozatour.it. The questions have been prepared by Pia Cossu from Boza, and she will publish this interview in Italian on her website blog. Okay, Dad. When did you understand that you would like to express yourself using painting or art forms?
Well, when I was a teenager, I was keen on drawing, and I was employed at the time by Meyer in Adelaide, working in their display studio. And I was good enough, even with minimal art training at that time, to paint pictures on large sheets of paper. I became interested in American illustrators because somebody gave me a subscription to Saturday Evening Post, so I was exposed to probably the world's best illustrators of the day. But as I got a little older, I realised that I really wasn't good enough to become an illustrator, so I took up painting pictures in oils and in watercolour.
So, like a hobby?
Yeah, like a hobby.
Do you use a precise technique or do you like to experiment?
Well, I used to use a precise technique, especially in watercolours, but now that I've moved really to pastels over the last year, my technique has changed again. It's not as precise, although it has to be precise in certain areas, so it's really hard to describe, but I wouldn't say that I was a precise painter.
How would you define your style?
Well, my style has changed from tonal, like most artists paint in a tonal manner, so that the subject is instantly recognisable. And you'll find that most artists and art galleries, the paintings are tonal. My paintings have now gone from tonal to becoming pictures that depict the scene, but much more boldly, using bolder colours and completely ignoring the tonal aspects of art.
Okay. Now this one here is referring to imagination. Is it myth or reality? What inspires you the most?
Well, all of my ideas for painting come from reality. They either come from sketchbooks or photographs, but very rarely do they come straight out of my head. But what I do these days is that I can be a little more inventive with pastels and take a scene, and instead of painting the whole photograph or sketch in detail like I used to do with watercolour, I can do fragments of the painting, inventing things as I go, particularly with figures by putting them in or leaving them out.
Mm-hmm. Talking of inspiration, how much has Boza influenced your artistic activity?
Well, I would say quite a lot. I've been going to Boza now on and off for nearly 30 years. In the first 10 years or so, I wasn't so much interested in art as seeing you and the children and John Franco and keeping in touch with the family. But when I retired from advertising, which was in 1985 or 6, I started to become very interested in, and from that moment I became very interested in taking photographs of Boza and painting in Boza, and I now have a vast repertoire of photographs of Boza, so I'm extremely interested in Boza. Apart from anything else, I like the subject matter.
Mm-hmm. So it's obviously makes good painting material.
Absolutely.
And under what circumstances do you feel more creative?
Well, really, the circumstances, take today, it's a very hot day. I don't really feel much like painting, but I will, as soon as we finish this interview, go downstairs in my garage, which is my studio, which will be hot, but I'll open the door and I'll put my black apron on to keep the pastel dust off me, put a sheet of paper on the easel and do a painting. So that's all the inspiration I need.
So you usually try to do one small painting a day?
I do.
Right. When you start a new piece, do you have a clear view of the final result, or when it is complete, is it a surprise even for you?
Well, sometimes it is a complete surprise. So I have a general idea of what I want to do, but I don't have any firm idea, and if it seems to be going all right in one direction, well, I'm prepared to follow that particular direction, whether it be colour or form or something of that nature.
Okay, I have seen that you have a Facebook fan page which you manage very carefully. In your opinion, how should artists deal with the changes of enjoying art during the times of internet and digital images?
Well, I think if artists want to reach the full potential of getting as many people as possible to see their artwork, there's no doubt that they have to embrace the technology. If they don't, they're really hiding themselves under a bush, because most artists go into Rotary art shows or art galleries, have exhibitions, but that's very limited. And I've discovered over the last 12 months, having been on Facebook for about that length of time, that you can actually start involving hundreds of people if you're putting paintings on Facebook, and if the paintings are interesting. And my paintings seem to be interesting enough for people to say, well, I like that, and they're doing that, and more often. I know daily whether they like the painting I did today or whether they didn't.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, and all those people out there who've seen this video, we would like to have lots and lots of likes, and also on the website www.bozatour.it. Thank you.